Hi everyone, I'm Kim Ross. I'm a project manager based out of Lidditz. Today we want to talk to you about how we created Jump, which is an attraction that we developed for our friends at Limitless Flight. Jump allows guests to step into a real wingsuit and slide on a custom VR helmet. So they get to jump from extreme heights just like world-class athletes, but within a controlled VR environment that far exceeds what has become the typical VR simulation experience. Jim, along with some of our integrators, were working with the creative team behind Limitless Flight to help develop and kind of flesh out their idea. We worked with them to develop a prototype rig, and that eventually became our jump bays that we now see in Salt Lake City as the first deployment, and what we hope to be many, many more.
For mechanical integration, we did this in 2 trips. In the first trip, we went to Salt Lake City in the fall. We arrived to an empty commercial building, brought all of our gear in, all of the structure in, and began the process of raising this thing. To do that, we had to take apart part of the building, lifted our structure up, cemented it to the ground. We were able to put their windows back in and seal up for the upcoming winter. This had 2 custom BT490s that provided a row for our trolleys. It's a winch connected to 2 sides of something that rolls on and rolls off, as well as each trolley had 4 custom lifting axes that reeved all throughout the trolley and met at the middle on the backpack that lifted our parachuters.
I'm Dan Novick. I'm a mechanical design engineer on Jump SLC. From a design perspective, some of the challenges we dealt with was, for example, the catch mechanism, which are these pneumatic tanks that catch and give the rider a soft landing during the initial jump, refining that into something that could be produced many, many times with minimal difficulty from a machining and manufacturing perspective. Additionally, with the theme of having something that we could potentially send anywhere into the US, we did some very strict engineering on the structure of the bay. So we actually did a seismic analysis for California, even though Utah's seismic requirements are significantly lower. So that kind of like future-proofing in the design and engineering of the unit to make sure that after we got everything solved for Salt Lake, that everything was documented and laid out in such a way that we could potentially send as many of these units as we wanted anywhere around.
We worked closely with Jump to make sure that the sensation that you feel on the ride is as close to lifelike as possible. Navigator handled everything like a champ. We seamlessly transitioned control from Navigator to the game server and back to Navigator. So when you take the first jump off the cliff, your free fall is controlled by Navigator. That way we know that you're not going to smash into anything, you're not going to get hurt. And then we transition your flight to the game server, and then in that return back to the platform, we take control back and land you safely on the ground. They're wearing 9 body trackers, including the helmet, that helps us basically build a reference of where they are in space, and then the game server sends back the hey, please tip them like this, please roll them like this. We did countless number of jumps with certified Red Bull jumpers, with the CEO, with various other people, where they would tell us like, hey, like, you know, this parachute moment didn't feel right, you know, I want to feel like I pull up more, and we were constantly iterating and trying different things. One of my favorite parts of the whole system is that Jump themselves developed a building-wide supervision system that actually communicates to us rider information. So when a rider enters the bay, it queues us up to start the process. It inputs their height, their weight, their name, all that fun information, so that the whole thing is automated and all that the operator has to do is push one button to start the whole ride.